What is good, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with the overall market, what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers, and why there's going to be a very big move to the markets that's coming very, very soon. But before I break things about why on earth that is and what you should be watching for as time goes on, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000 into the account, you're guaranteed 15 free stocks, and this offer ends very, very soon in just a couple of weeks. So anyways, now let's break down what's going on with the market and Tesla. So looking at Tesla, guys, we have a potential flag that's forming, but nothing's guaranteed just yet because we have lots of data dropping very, very soon. So at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's about 30 minutes from the time I'm recording this, we have some very, very big data. We have the FOMC minutes coming out. This is not an FOMC meeting. It's just a report of the meeting. And in the report, we're going to be looking at more data and more insights from different Fed officials. We're going to find out what on earth are the majority of the Fed officials thinking. Do they want to raise rates? Are they going to be cutting? What is their plan to be cutting for 2024? Is it going to be a 75 basis point total cuts for 2024 or not? What are they going to be doing with their balance sheets? We're going to be finding out more details about the Fed's monetary policy. And you guys know the Fed can cause crazy moves in the stock market. We're likely going to see a very big move starting at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So watch that very, very carefully, guys. This is going to be the last major piece of data for today. So with that being said, the question is what's going to happen to Tesla? And here's my answer. Tesla's kind of shuffling in this 240 area, right? I told you all that if we broke below 244, that's our 4-hour 200 EMA on Tesla. If we broke this, expect a big drop. And as you can see, Tesla went from 244 all the way down to 236. So we called this drop. I said this is going to happen if we lost this support, and that's what ended up happening. Now that the move has been made, what's interesting is the algos are starting to buy Tesla just a little bit more, and we have this wick that formed over here. Look at this nice wick. So some buyers are starting to defend Tesla as it hits 236, just below our 237 target. So with that being said, Tesla's getting bought up just a little bit, and now we're kind of shuffling into 240s. But that doesn't matter as much. It doesn't guarantee anything because there's going to be high volatility starting at about 2 p.m. So it's all going to depend on what the Fed ends up saying, and that's one of those things I can't truly predict. But don't forget, guys, I have some good news for the bulls and also some bad news. So the good news for the bulls is you could argue that Tesla has this gap. We have a big gap above. Can Tesla push up to fill this gap and make its way back into the 240s? Or is Tesla about to reject? That we'll have to wait and see. But make sure you watch these levels. So watch Tesla basically at this 240 area. We have some resistance at 242.5, 244, 247, followed by 250. Then we have support at 237, 236.5, and then 234 to 233 below that, and then 230 below that as well. So what do I think Tesla will do? Honestly, guys, I'm not 100% sure. It depends on the Fed. These are one of those like events where I can't truly predict everything. So we'll just have to see. But there is a chance, because we're forming a wick here, there's a possibility that buyers will try to defend. So if Tesla does turn bullish, let's see if it could break above 244. If it breaks 244, it's going to favor the bulls again, and we could see Tesla try to push back to 250. All right, so watch that very carefully. Watch support and resistance. We'll see what happens with this big move with the FOMC minutes, and we will see if the buyers do truly try to defend this as they're starting to do so right now. I'm in the middle. I'm very open to anything, by the way, but I am open to the strong possibility of some upside if we end up seeing buyers defend after the FOMC minutes. For SPY, this is actually a very similar to Tesla in some ways because both of them also saw this drop. I told you guys that if we saw SPY break support right over here, we'd be watching this 470 area. If we lost this, watch 468. We didn't quite get to 468 flat, but we did actually bounce into 468. So it was kind of close. I was off by about 70 cents there, but that's okay because technically we actually bounced off the previous support zone. So this wasn't actually entirely like an anomaly. So we had this wick right over here, which is where we bounced. And now we're just kind of shuffling into 470s on SPY. So if we're bearish, let's just say the FOMC minutes come out at 2 p.m. right over here, and that this causes a drop in the markets, SPY is going to break below 470 and start dropping to 468 or so. But I want to call out something very important on SPY. If we go to the daily charts, check this out, guys. This is very important. We bounced off the 20 EMA already. So I was calling out the 20 EMA on the daily. That's at 468. We actually touched it and we bounced off of it or very close to it. This tells us that there are buyers defending it. Buyers are trying to defend SPY at 468 to 470. So we're going to be watching, do we bounce here or do we end up continuing to lose it? If we lose 468, we turn more bearish. SPY is going to be sinking much lower. If we lose 460 and we fail to close above that or hold it, if we're bullish, you want to see it get above 472. So right now, if the buyers do defend it, you want to see it get above the 471s and eventually test 472. If we break above this or close above it, we could be pushing higher to try to fill this gap. SPY also has this gap up here all the way up to 475. All right, so what do I think is going to happen, guys? I don't truly know, but we do have a wick that's forming a potential bounce that could be forming up to 20 EMA. So we'll have to wait and see. If we lose 468, we turn bearish. If we break above 472, we could turn bullish to try to fill this gap. Be open-minded to anything, and we'll see what the Fed causes. If I was a fortune teller, I would tell you what's going to happen, but I don't truly know. It depends on the Fed. I am open to the possibility of a bounce, though, looking at the current wick that formed on the daily. For the QQQ, we dropped really hard. We just dropped and dropped and dropped like crazy, especially thanks to Aapl. Aapl played a big role in causing this. But I want to call out that on the 4-hour time frame, we're very oversold. We have a 22 RSI. On the 30 minutes time frame, I think it's the 30 minutes or the hourly, we're also starting to form a potential bullish divergence right here. So not saying that this will play out for sure, but there is a possibility of a small bounce that could come. You're going to be watching 400, 402.5, and then 404 as resistance levels. For support, watch 398.5, followed by 396.5. If we're bearish, you want to see it lose 398. If it loses 398, we're going to be sticking to 396.5. If we're bullish, you want to see this thing break above 402. If we break that, 404 is coming, followed by 405.7 to 406. Okay, now we have a slight bullish divergence, which suggests that this thing could bounce back to 402 plus. But just to be safe, I would not really like try predicting everything and just like solely go based off that. I would recommend just to wait for the data and see what this causes, and that's how you're going to become a lot more certain. All right, for Nvidia, Nvidia is looking a little bit weak. It's kind of shuffling again around 475 to 474. I would say that if we're bullish on Nvidia, you want to see this thing kind of break above 482. If we break above this and start pushing, we're bullish. If we lose 472.5, there's going to be a risk of it coming all the way down to 468 and then seeing support over there. So are we going to come all the way down to 468 or do we push through 480? Watch and see which move it makes after the FOMC minutes come out. So that's going to be very key for this thing. Watch the levels I also have over here just to be safe. And last but not least, for Apple stock, this one's kind of tricky because I was telling you that Apple's going to likely test 183 around the 183s. We came down to 183.5, so very close to expectations. Now the question is, will Apple bounce here? Let me show you Apple's charts. Apple, in my opinion, on the 30 minutes time frame, we have a nice bullish divergence. We have a double bullish divergence that's forming, which suggests that there could be a little bounce coming. However, not going to promise it. This is just technicals. They do suggest a bounce could be coming, but just to be safe, let's watch and see what the data suggests. So for Apple, if we break above 185, there's going to be potential for it to get to 186.5 plus, right? That also aligns with Apple's 50 EMA on the 30 minutes time frame, the 186 area, if we manage to break 185 to turn bullish. If we're bearish, you want to see this thing lose 183.5. If it loses that, 182.5 is coming, followed by 181. Right now with the bullish divergence, I do favor the upside a little bit more, but just to be safe, let's wait and see what the data causes. All right, guys, so there's a chance the market might actually surprise people and actually bounce a little bit. Not saying it's going to last forever, not saying it's going to be big, just a small bounce could be coming thanks to the FOMC minutes. But just to be safe, let's not solely depend on that. Let's not solely just go based off what I'm anticipating just on the charts. The charts are not everything. The data is going to be more impactful. So we'll see what the minutes cause. We'll see what the Fed ends up announcing. I'll be reporting this a little bit later on after all the data drops. So expect some volatility at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and let's see if this causes the market to bounce or not. All right, guys, that's about 30 minutes from the time I'm recording this. Thank you all so much for listening. I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thank you, and peace out.